Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. I hope everyone is doing okay. Well, today I was doing indoor stuff. I'm still self-isolating. It was reported by Dave Hodges that we might have a food transport disruption in San Diego. So I dashed into the store a couple times just in case his predictions were correct. So last night I made some, I think this is lemon tea, and I squeezed a half a lemon. And so this one's for tomorrow. And what I'm trying to do is eat at least 1/2 lemon per day. And that way, I know I'm getting some vitamin C. I also take tablets and I suck on lozenges. And the minute I walk into the house, I wash my hands, even though I have gloves on. I'm taking no chances. It's a wicked virus, and you don't want to pick it up under any circumstances. And it's hot here, you guys. It is really, really hot. So, the first place I went was 99-cent only. Let me make sure this thing is still going. It seems to be going good lately. Sometimes it doesn't. And so I walked past where they had the markdown bin, and today I got a lot of nice stuff. I got 2 cans, dented cans, 50% off. This is a lot of food. 2 cans, 2 mushroom cans of tomato sauce, for spaghetti. And I got 2 cans of beef barley soup, dented. I got 1 bag of whole wheat flour for 50 cents. So, this week there was no flour. There was no flour. Today I got a little bit more at a 99-cent store. They have a good brand that I love. And I got 2.2 pounds of rice for 50 cents. So I got all this food for $3, and I want to encourage you guys to keep your eye out for dented cans and damaged packages. With any luck, I'll never have to eat this stuff, but if things get bad, you never know. It makes me very uneasy here, and I'll tell you why. Okay, supposedly 40% of the people don't have a job. And so half of the week, like from Thursday through Sunday, the stores are jammed. Last week I told you guys there was 30 people, over 30 people in the front of the store. Monday through Wednesday, nobody. And I'm thinking, what are all these people doing that don't have a job? Back in the day when I was young, if I didn't have a job like that, I would have been hysterical. And it's just creepy because you don't know what's going on. Anything could be going on. So what I'm doing is I'm mostly staying safe near my house, just to be careful. This is a lot better area than where I used to live, but you still never know, And we do have a few COVID cases, about I think 50 last time I checked, and it's a small town. Okay, I'm watching Netflix. I blew through a bunch of movies, and normally I don't watch movies, but I'm exercising indoors, which I hate, but you have to exercise. So I blew through all the movies I had, and so I found it's like a series. So there's like a bunch of them, and it's called Mind Hunter. So I just started this. So what I do is I do the exercise video, and then I sit around and rest for a little while. Now, my phone fed me a new exercise video. It's called updated full version 1 hour of great workouts for beginners and seniors by Jenny McKeldin. I will put it on my Twitter. Let me see if I can show it to you. Oh, the light is lousy. So, now I'm not used to like exercises where you're actually doing exercises. Walking doesn't bother me. I do 2 hours a day outside generally, but the exercises, I thought just take it slowly, do a few minutes, and then come back to it because it's a whole hour. Okay, so now about the bread. Okay, my bread is improving. See the bread I made today? What I need this bread for is sandwiches. Because, and this is good. Let me see if I can show you. I'm getting the hang of this. I collapsed my bread because I slammed the door of the oven. And this is good. Let me see if I can cut one. Perfect for sandwiches. It would have been better a little thicker, but I'm still new to the sourdough starter. Look, perfect for sandwiches. This week I had turkey and tuna. So, okay, now what I did this time is I had my starter on the counter. And it was a little bit cold in here. It's hot here. So what I did is I had the air conditioner on all night, so I heated a pan of water like when I make the yogurt, and I put some foil on top and I slipped it in my oven. Then I slipped my starter in there and until it warmed up, and then I used my good bread recipe. I will post this on, maybe it'll be better if I show it to you guys this way. I will put this on Twitter. And then what I did, because when you use starter, it rises really slow. So I put it in the oven with the pan with I heated the pan to boiling, and then I covered it with foil, and I put it in the oven, and then I was able to start my rise my dough that way, and it went a lot faster. And then I had this beautiful dough. I slammed the stove or the oven door, and it is sunk. So maybe I didn't have enough flour. But in this, it's 7.5 to 8 cups unbleached flour, 2 envelopes yeast, 1 1/2 cups water, 1 cup milk, 2 tablespoons butter, 2 tablespoons sugar, 1 tablespoon salt, and 2 tablespoons butter melted. So also, I put the melted butter on top, and that didn't help my cause either. But what I did is I just used my starter that I made yesterday like yeast. And here is the bread starter recipe. I've done many videos on this, you guys. I could have saved half of it, but if I did it this way, I made my starter last night and then the bread this morning because it needs 24 hours, and it gives you a very tasty taste to your bread. Then I made a tasty batch of granola. One of the things I was shopping for that they didn't have any was oatmeal. I'm sure we're going to get some, but this is really easy to make, and let me show you. It makes a lot. So here's my granola. And I eat cereal in the middle of the night. So there's my granola. And that's a good thing to stockpile. Okay, so now I've been making soup, and last night I made clam chowder, and it was so tasty left over that I thought I'll run down and I'll buy some clams at Walmart. No clams. They did have 1 can oyster, and I thought they don't have what I came for. They didn't have very little food. So then I went to 99-cent only, and I got some tuna, some clams, and some oysters and some flour. Very little food. There wasn't what I needed. What I'm stockpiling is canned food that's going to last me for a long, long time. So, okay, remember this? This is the barley. This is all I have. I'm going to get more. And so I've been going to make some barley soup. So let me stir it up a little so you can see how tasty it turned out. Now, the thing about this is I used chicken bouillon, but I could have used beef. It's very hot. This is a good one. Okay, now let me give you the recipe. So the idea is to make big pots of food, and what I use this for is I eat a little at night, but mainly it's for lunch when I eat sandwiches. And so what I'm doing is I'm pursuing pots of food. I just made a little batch. Where did I put that? I think I wrote it. Yeah, I did. So, you know, it depends what you've got on hand. I sauteed the onions in a little oil, and then I added carrots and potatoes, and then I added 4 cups water for a little batch and 2 bouillon cubes. And like for a big batch is 1/3 cup barley and bay leaves, but I didn't have any, so I just used some, seasoning, salt and pepper. But, you know, to tailor it to what you have. But the thing about the barley soup is the barley goes forever. So that's what I wanted to do is, so big pots would be pots of beans, soup. Oh, and another thing I was trying to get was navy beans, because those are the most nutritious beans. All right, the most nutritious beans, in case you didn't see last night, black, the highest protein pulse. Black lentils, green lentils, split peas, navy beans, chickpeas, black beans, and kidney beans. Does not mention pinto. And then I was looking for seeds, seeds and nuts. So I was trying to dash in and out, so I didn't succeed in getting any nuts today, but maybe tomorrow. The trick is when you find them, you want to buy a lot. So what I'm actually having for dinner tonight is I'm having a tasty little burrito, cheese and egg burrito, and then if I want, I'll eat some soup. But so I have 1/2. I refilled my water bottle. 1/2 evaporated milk. You want this in your stockpile. I get it at Walmart. 1/2 water. And I have 2 eggs. So the trick is to find some easy dinners. Find some. Today, this is the only thing I've made all day because, well, I made the granola, but that just takes a minute. And then this morning I made the bread, because what I'm trying to get into the habit of doing is making bread every morning or every other morning. So if I had saved half of my starter, I could make some tomorrow morning too. But the bread was turning out so good that I decided to make it all. So a lot of people are being careless about the coronavirus, and I think it's so foolish. We found out another person we know got it, a trucker, and I thought, I wonder if that has anything to do with the disruption. And then I'm heating my tortilla in a dry pan. I wonder if that has anything with the disruption in the food chain, if the truckers are getting the coronavirus. I hope not. So we know 1 person that died, 2 people that got it, 1 person who was deathly ill and lost the 30 pounds, and his wife. And we don't know anyone because, you know, even when I'm not in self-isolation, I don't go anywhere, nowhere, you guys. And then one of the things that I bought was cheese at Dollar Tree. I find it to be good, and ounce per ounce is probably the cheapest cheese you can buy, even cheaper than Aldi's, if you can believe that. So the thing about these homemade burritos is if you don't eat it all, then it's going to be good the next day, you know? Whereas if you buy them, well, now this is good because I actually used to, in the day, eat breakfast at McDonald's, breakfast and lunch. But I don't want to do that because I don't know who's handling my food. Hopefully they don't have it, but if they do, I don't want to be the one that catches it from them. Yum, my burrito looks good. Okay, and I didn't take my salsa out of the refrigerator, but I had a little, and I used these mushrooms in my barley soup. This is more than enough for a tasty little batch of soup. So the trick is to find tasty meals that are pretty cheap. You know, and try to stay the course a little bit with this self-isolation thing. I think a lot of people are going to let up and they're going to catch it and they're going to be very sorry. It's not worth it. Okay, so now what? Okay, so I'm doing the feng shui, and that involves a lot of housework. It goes on and on and on. I was doing it before I moved out of the old place. I have problems because I have a lot of food storage and I have a lot of eBay inventory, and I'm not getting rid of my stuff. I'm going to sell it when the time is right. Not until. So this is going to make a pretty substantial burrito. Owie. So this is a lot of food, just like I had a lot of food, it was last night. The food was not expensive, but it was good enough. Okay, so I was doing the exercising. Gardening, check. Chess, I'm watching that on YouTube. Cooking, I'm doing that. I didn't do it today. And then books of the Bible, Daniel. And something occurred to me that I was watching, when I was listening to it, that actually the judgments are for the evildoers. So here's what I season my Italian seasoning. So the clay on the feet of the statue are the evildoers and the good people. And those two do not mix. I think possibly that goes back to Cain and the serpent. So, you know, that's what I was doing. I was listening to Revelation 2. I posted a good video on my Twitter, and he thinks the same as I do, that the judgments, the actual judgments, are for the evildoers. Not to say bad things don't happen to good people, because they do. This will do. Anyway, and Revelation, you can watch it on, you can listen to it on your phone on audio. So I can blow through like those 2 books in a day. And so various people are defying the self-isolation. I mean, big, huge crowds. I think it's so stupid. It is so stupid. So is it because, do they think the coronavirus is real? Well, maybe they should go to New York. And so what we have to do is, I did prepare if there is a disruption in the food chain, food transport chain, and something holds up the food here in San Diego, I want to make sure I have food, of course. Another thing that could cause problems is food hoarding. You know, if people just spend all their available money on food and hoard food, that could cause a lot of shortages. We've had like shortages like on toilet paper, and then we'll get some, we still don't have any yeast. Okay, so now I thought, wow, I wanna jam my freezer full of meat, and I have, but I made a list of cheap meat. I would suggest cheap meat. Hot dogs, lunch meat. You guys see me eat lunch meat continuously. Turkey lunch meat, ham lunch meat, bologna, and salami. The cheapest is bologna. And my followers that pack their freezer full of lunch meat right before this pandemic were probably very happy like I was. You guys see me eating turkey sandwiches on my homemade bread all week. Chorizo. One tube of chorizo can go forever. You can make burritos, you can put it in your beans. The best chorizo burrito is you make your potatoes the night before, you fry your chorizo in a little oil, and you add your cooked potatoes, and then you crack the eggs. That is a delicious burrito, and it makes tons of burritos. And then, you know, if you put it in your refried beans, that is very tasty as well. And it can make a lot of burritos. Vienna sausages and top ramen or scrambled eggs. Pork sausage, you know, sausage and gravy would be good on my bread. The reason I'm making my bread is because I want to pack my freezer full of nice flat tortillas. Fish sticks, those are cheap. I buy big ones at Smart and Final, the big bags. Bacon, I stocked up on bacon. We could get a shortage. You need bacon or some kind of bacon grease for your beans. You know, if there's no pork, there's not going to be any salt pork either. Clams, I added those because that clam chowder was really, really tasty, and it was good. When you're putting the potatoes, this is good, you guys. This will do with a sandwich or two. You want to get these recipes under your belt now, not when things start getting, you know, I posted this thing, stockpile beans, rice, and vegetables so you won't starve. And I said to I saw a video and it says, we're not trying to survive, we're trying to thrive. And I thought, well, good luck if a famine comes doing that. You better have some beans and rice. I mean, think about it. No navy beans. That's not good. And sardines. I know a good sardine recipe. Okay, when I made the salmon, I baked it, you know, like those cans of salmon. And I mixed, I grind stewed tomatoes in the blender, and I add salt, pepper, and sugar, and I pour it over the salmon, and I bake it. But sardines, you can cook them in the same thing, even tomato sauce, but stewed tomatoes, salt, pepper, and sugar, and then rice. And that is pretty good. And then if you can, get 60 eggs. That way, if you get the food bank, they don't always give you eggs, you guys. If you have eggs, you can make burritos, you can make eggs and toast, you can, anyway, eggs, cheese, milk. I've been making yogurt and nuts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stockpile nuts in the shell. Walnuts, pecans, almonds, and macadamia nuts. So for the reason that the granola is good is because you can eat that without milk if you had to. God forbid. It's best to stockpile those big canisters of powdered milk, but they're like $16. The Walmart boxes are cheaper. So you need oatmeal, nuts, honey, and milk. And then big bags of food, big big pans of food that could be eaten for 2 or 3 days would be beans, soup, stew, spaghetti. Macaroni and cheese is really good left over. You could put tuna in the macaroni and cheese as well, and it's very good with fish sticks or hot dogs. And then chicken and noodles. And now it was KY Rambling Granny, but now it's something Sherry. And what she did, and it's very yummy, when she made her chicken and noodles, she cut refrigerator biscuits up and put them on top and cooked them like biscuits. Write that kind of stuff in your notebooks. Okay, you guys, be careful. I mean, if you don't want to be a hermit, that is understandable, but at least social distance. I've seen some very careless stuff. I think one of the most shocking things I saw was people that are able to board planes without a mask. Call me crazy, but isn't that how it got here in the first place? And another scary thing is people not wearing masks on the subway. So at least wear your own mask. Just be very careful. And try to be careful throughout the second wave. We're not through the first wave, but expect a second wave. Okay, you guys, be careful. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And God, I would feel bad if one of you died from carelessness. And God bless you all.